I mean, you just told younger generations that they should wean themselves off this social contract.
That is true.
But you haven't done it yourself.
It's true, but Social Security is for me, not for you. It's just like Ayn Rand, folks. Do as I say, not as I do. And you know what's really sad? Ron Paul is going to get away with this because his Paul bot monkey followers are too mind-numbingly stupid to think for themselves. They're not going to think, hey, he tells us we're not going to have it, but he takes it himself. That guy's a hypocrite. They're not going to say that because they're programmed, they're hardwired to believe whatever this jackass tells them. And I think it's sad. I really do. Because I've got a friend who's a Paul bot. Nice guy. I go to anime cons with him all the time. Well, I used to. And by all the time, I mean about once or twice a year. And I got something on my table that reeks of berries or flowers or something. But the point is, I don't know what it is about this guy, but he is somehow able to pull the wool over the eyes of millions of people. And a lot of them are, you know what? The more and more I think about it, the more and more I realize why Ayn Rand and Ron Paul appeal so much to these high school and college age kids. It's because at that age, you honestly think the world revolves around you. So why should you give a duck fuck about anyone else? It makes sense if you think about it. At that age, you are self-centered and narcissistic. If you're a normal person, you grow out of it. If you're not a normal person, you become a conservative. And I mean, like I said, it depresses me. It's sad, but that's the way it is. They will not question their leaders. It is literally, when the subject comes up, it's like, question leaders does not compute. But he's a hypocrite. He's telling you shouldn't get something does not compute. I mean, literally, you can't talk sense to these people. They're idiots. I suspect that they're driven by the desire to get high. And sure, if you elect Ron Paul to any sort of power on a national level, you'll probably get your weed. You're also going to get Christian theocracy, no abortions, gays, swinging from nooses. Because that is, he says, America's a Christian country. So you'll get your weed, but you're going to get theocracy with it. Is it worth the trade-off? I don't think so. But some people do, because they're self-centered. They're like, oh, it won't affect me. Guess what, fucko? It will. And it'll probably affect you more than anyone else, because you're younger. Anyway, I will be making Adam Hebert's Hypocrisy Files a semi-regular thing. I don't want to do it every episode. I want to reserve it mostly for when it's extra special, extra egregious, stuff like that. Let's see here. Anyway, we're going to be getting ready to take a break in a few minutes, because I was a couple minutes late getting off. I'm going to try and shave a couple minutes off the break. We'll see what will happen. Again, because I noticed we just got a new listener, Paul J, I believe. We will be having Brad Friedman and Desi Doyen of the Green News Report and BradBlog.com at the bottom of the second hour. That is 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Wesley Karskadden, if you've been a regular listener, you'll know him. He will be joining me sometime in the second hour. I've told him he really wants to be here in time for the bottom of the second half of the second hour, but I always tell him, you're helping me out. If you can't make it, that's cool. But we're going to have a good time, hopefully without technical problems. I have been running tests like you wouldn't believe all afternoon long. And, oh, hi, it's Paul Green. But anyway, hopefully without the technical issues. Anyway, we're going to, I'm going to double check and make sure my break shot is ready before we switch. And of course it's not. Damn. Oh, wait. So here we go. We're going to break. And, we're going to be hearing a piece from a remix from Final Fantasy VI, called Purity. I suspect it's a remix of the Final Fantasy Prelude. Anyway, we'll be back in about 6 minutes.
Security, just like I said that I would preserve the Social Security the best I.
What the hell, man?
God, it's like my brain's that tree and you're those little cookie elves.
Smarter than Savage and sexier than Limbaugh. This is Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio.
Are you living in a progressive talk void? If so, be sure to visit leftwingradiosstations.com. The state-by-state listing is a quick and easy way to find any left-wing talk radio station across America, from sea to shining sea. Your progressive talk nirvana is only a click away at leftwingradiosstations.com. Be sure to like Left Wing Radio Stations on Facebook and share it with your friends. leftwingradiosstations.com. United we stand. The 99 Report with Ally McNeil, covering all the issues that affect the 99% and what drives the Occupy movement. Live on Fridays from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/99-report. Podcasts available on the blog, the99report.blogspot.com. And be sure to follow Ally and the 99 Report at Watergate Summer on Twitter. The 99 Report with Ally McNeil. A voice for the majority.
Here we go again.
I demand more!
I want it, I need it, and I'm gonna have it!
Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
And we are back. Well, while we were on break, I did take the opportunity to go get the clip that was supposed to be on my flash drive and wasn't. Because we're going to talk about Ron Paul a bit more, because, like I said, this guy is a huge hypocrite, and I want to make it clear exactly why, and I'm sure no one here is going to disagree with me. I know that. I'm preaching to the choir, hopefully. Well, hopefully not. If there's someone out there with differing opinions, join us. As I always say in the Radio Not chat room, we don't bite, we only nibble. But before I go back to Ron Paul, I just want to say that I've spent the past week making a few changes to the website. If you will check it, it is MikeCheckRadio2, numeral 2.blogspot.com. And basically, if you go there, you will see 3 specialized email links: one to nominate an asshole of the week, one to suggest show topics and send me news stories, and another for just general commentary and suggestions. Lay down. Hey! I have a stalker of the furry variety, and he will not obey. Anyway, as I was saying, if you want, I have no problem with input in the show and contents, because, hey, if you send me a show topic and I like it, you're doing me a favor. That's less show prep I have to do. But, I just want to go over those real quick. Again, please use those links for what they're meant for, because basically, excuse me, the way I worded it is a little iffy, and it kind of said, it's implied that I'll just ignore your email, and that's not the case. Basically, each link is set up to flag in my email and forward it to my main private account, which means that I will get that email. So if you send it using those links, the subject line will flag in my email and it'll boot it to my private email, which means I'll get it. Guaranteed. If you don't use the links, I can't guarantee anything, because I log in every now and then for show business, but I do almost all my stuff through my primary Gmail account. So again, please use those links as you see fit. Also, I just remind everyone that if I play a piece that you do not like, that you absolutely hate, and you want to kill me for playing it, please say so. I will take it out of rotation, provided it isn't one of my favorites, because, this is my show. I do, there are some pieces I will not remove out of rotation. Sorry. Anyway, back to Ron Paul and his hypocrisy. As we're talking about last, lay down. I'm sorry, the dog's just causing all sorts of trouble. As we were talking about last segment, Oh, okay. As we were talking about last segment, Ron Paul is a hypocrite. Okay? He says some things that are smart, some things that aren't, but by and large, the guy is a hypocritical douchebag. And as I played last segment, he admitted to taking Social Security. Now, normally, that's cool. I don't care. As Hal Sparks would say, I don't give a duck fuck. And why is my box all screwed up? I apologize. Every time I think I've got these problems licked, something else comes up and it makes me look like an idiot. Anyway, here we go. So he said, yeah, I'm on Social Security. But wait.
Are you familiar with audio tape?
Here we go. Just, you know what? I don't even remember when he said this. I should have. There isn't a date on the article. He compared, excuse me, Social Security and Medicare to slavery, which makes perfect sense. Well, not really, but I mean, if you're an Ayn Rand purist who believes anyone you don't like, my apologies, who believes that anything you do not like is unconstitutional, and anyone who takes that is somehow less of a worthy human being than you are, it makes sense. Until reality sets in, and you're like Ayn Rand, you get crippling bills that are going to wipe out what little money you have. So we're going to listen to Ron Paul and see what he has to say, what he said about Social Security in the past. Cue, you know, the harp sound effect. I really need to.
You talk a lot about the Constitution. You say Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid are all unconstitutional.
Technically they are, but I
Why?
also just...
Why?
Because there's no authority there. Article 1, Section 8 doesn't say I can set up a insurance program for people. What part of the Constitution you get from? The liberals are the ones that use this general welfare clause.
Well, okay, all right. Well, I don't know that I'm a liberal, but let's put it up on the screen, because that's exactly the point. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. Doesn't Social Security come under promoting the general welfare?
Absolutely not.
Why
General
not?
welfare is the general condition. Maybe sound currency is general welfare. Maybe markets, maybe a judicial system, maybe a national defense. But this is specific welfare. This justifies the whole welfare state. The military-industrial complex, the welfare to foreigners, the welfare state that imprisons our people and impoverishes our people and gives us our recessions. So no, why would you have Article 1, Section 8, and why would you have the Amendment number 9 and 10? That means there's no reason for Article 1, number 10. If you believe that, the General Revenue Clause, that is such an extreme liberal viewpoint that has been mistaught in our schools for so long, and that's what we have to reverse, that very notion that you're presenting.
Congressman, it's not just a liberal view. It was the decision of the Supreme Court in 1937 when they said that Social Security was constitutional under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
The Constitution and the court said slavery was legal too, and we had to reverse that. So I tell you, just because a court in 37 went very liberal on us and expanded
Social Security and Medicare and other forms of government help are just like slavery? Really?
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard! Jesus Christ, I met some dumb bastards in my time, but you outdo them all.
Seriously, what the fuck? I mean, you know, and again, conservatives are like this. Any part of the Constitution they don't, well, that doesn't count. So the only part of the Bill of Rights that counts to conservatives are the Second Amendment and unreasonable search procedures. Beyond that, go fuck yourself. That's what that is how they see things, because those are the ones that deal with their interests, which is shooting shit up and not having their stuff taken away. And like I said, Ron Paul says some stuff that sounds good. Fewer wars, no nation building? Cool. Legalize weed? Sure. Let's empty out those prisons. Dismantle Social Security and Medicare? Fuck no. And what he does with his followers is he always tries to make this, why should you pay? And I've actually had my libertarian Paul Bot friends say this. Why should you pay for your grandmother's Medicare? He actually said this to me. And I almost took a swing. That's how pissed off I was at him for saying that. I was raised with respect for our elders. My grandfather fought for this country in World War II. He fought illegally as a Marine because he was underage. How dare you tell me I shouldn't care about my elders, especially my own grandparents? You son of a bitch. I'm sick and tired of the self-centered, I've got mine, fuck off attitude on the right. And the thing is, it's spreading, okay? I've said it before and I will say it again until I'm blue in the face. Conservative is like cancer. It is like a cancer. And until liberals wake up and say, we can't negotiate with these yahoos, we better just start pushing back as hard as we can. And I'm not saying violence. I'm just saying we need to start saying, no, your views are not equal to us because we're right and you're wrong. We're not going to get anywhere. And, you know, I had some respect for Ron Paul. It's pretty much evaporating. It's not just because of this clip. It's because of everything else. But the fact of the matter is, Paul bots, listen up. This is what Ron Paul thinks of you.
You guys are total rubes!
He's selling you a bill of goods, but he's not willing to live by his own code. Same as Ayn Rand. You are being played for chumps. And your response is, duh, okay. Can I pet the rabbit again? Tell me about the rabbit again, George. You know, wake up, America. Anyway, I want to exit this. I believe we've said our piece about Mr. Paul. The fact of the matter is, the man is a hypocrite. Nothing can change that. He was probably born a hypocrite. He's going to die a hypocrite. Can't take that stuff back. Sorry. Even if you all of a sudden saw the light and started fighting as a dyed-in-the-wool liberal, sorry. You're still a hypocritical asshole. Anyway. Moving on. One of the biggest races in the country right now, and it's being followed almost religiously by many people on the right and the left, is the Warren Brown Senate race in Massachusetts. And of course, there's a good reason for it. Ted Kennedy's seat should have never gone to Scott Brown. It was a major, epic fail of the Democratic Party that thing lost. I mean, seriously, it was one massive... An
epic fail.
But He's up for re-election because the special election was only to finish out his term. So Ted Kennedy was re-elected in 2006, and his seat is up again this year. And we actually have a good candidate, Elizabeth Warren. But, damn it. But we have a problem. Ah, crap. Don't tell me it's not here. Scott Brown, it seems, is a little scared of Elizabeth Warren. He won't debate her.
Oh, the super chicken. Oh, the super chicken.
The guy, let me get my notes here. Basically, Elizabeth, Vicky Kennedy, Ted Kennedy's, widow, is the president of the Edward Kennedy Center in Massachusetts, which is a non-partisan entity. And she extended an invitation to the candidates to come to come debate at the Kennedy Center. And Scott Brown said, sure, on one condition. He said, I will only do it if Vicky Kennedy does not endorse a candidate for the Senate. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute, and I'm sure everyone understands just how extraordinary a request this is. He's basically saying, as a condition to debate his opponent, this person who is not running in any way for the seat cannot endorse a candidate. She basically has to give up her First Amendment rights under the Constitution and cannot endorse a candidate, otherwise forget about it. Vicky, of course, Vicky Kennedy, she basically, damn it. She basically said, screw you, and
I'm trying to be mature and not immediately shoot down your idea, but it sounds really terrible.
And rightfully so. It is not right for a candidate for high office to say as a condition of debating his opponent that someone unrelated to the race has to give up her First Amendment rights to make an endorsement. Because he knows Ted Kennedy made mistakes. There is no doubt about that. He was a drunkard, get all those jokes out of your system, okay? He made mistakes. He paid for those mistakes tenfold by fighting for the poor and the unfortunate in this country and working to make it a better place for everyone. So if there's a conservative out there listening, I don't want to hear one word about Chappaquiddick. He has paid for that tenfold. And Kat in the chat room says, on the other hand, she is the president of the organization sponsoring the debate, so an endorsement could seem like bias. Actually, that is not true, because all that she was offering was a venue. That's it. A stage. A building. If she had said, the debate must be hosted by must be moderated by Rachel Maddow. That could be seen as bias. And we'll talk about Rachel Maddow in a minute, but here are the debates Scott Brown has, and I'm really making an effort to be better with my show prep. Here are the debates Scott Brown has agreed to, without the input of Elizabeth Warren, might I add. One hosted by Dan Rea, who, quote, espouses conservative views and openly describes himself as Brown's friend. And one sponsored by the Boston Herald, the conservative paper that has all but endorsed Brown by virtue of its ceaseless sexist and racist attacks on Elizabeth Warren. Brown has also agreed to a televised debate limited to one station, hosted by political analyst John Keller, quote, a veteran media personality and debate moderator known to be especially tough on the state's democratic political culture.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
That's it. That's what this is about, folks. Scott Brown is terrified of Elizabeth Warren. Why do you think, okay, as soon as he won his seat, he sends out this memo, and I'm sure everyone here knows about it, saying, Rachel Maddow's going to run. Send me money. That's the gist of it. And I was going to excerpt that, but I decided we have too much to get to. But this guy seems to have a major hard-on for Rachel Maddow. Let's put it that way. But this guy, I mean, there's only... Chicken! He's a chicken. He's a chicken shit. He's a douchebag, and he is the leading asshole in the state of Massachusetts. And I believe that the people of Massachusetts would be doing themselves a grotesque disservice if they elected this man to say, look, I don't care if you agree with me or not. That is not my issue. My issue is that the people of Massachusetts, they are entitled to see a debate between Elizabeth Warren and Scott Brown. And Scott Brown is basically saying, screw you, elect me, without seeing this. He clearly doesn't want to debate Elizabeth Warren because he knows he'll get massacred. That's why he's making all these obscene requests. He knows he's going to get told to go pound sand. He knows this. And he's basically doing it so he looks like the victim. Because as I've said before, conservatives love playing the victim. They can't make an intellectual argument for their case. All they have is, oh, poor me, they're so mean to me. President Obama's a big duty poo-poo head. That's literally what they do. Of course, it's all crocodile tears, don't get me wrong. But make no mistake, this isn't about bias. This isn't about, I see that, it's Snorky. So we've got some people in chat. I'm going to do chat room shout-outs tonight. We'll probably do that around 8, 9 o'clock Central, or 8:30 Central, once everyone's here. But anyway, Scott Warren is a gigantic chicken. He will not debate He will not debate Elizabeth Warren. if you see, and this is why I always tell conservatives, if you're confident in your position, if you truly believe it's going to win the most support, why do your ideas only work in a vacuum? They don't want to compete with liberal ideas because they know they're going to lose. Because again, any creature with a functioning brain is generally going to be a liberal. Which is why Scott Brown wants to restrict this to conservative talk radio and one television station. He wants to restrict he wants to keep as many people from seeing him get his ass kicked as possible, and he knows this is going to motivate his base because he's going to get to look like the victim. So, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Mr. Brown, you are a coward. You are a chicken shit, a douchebag, an asshole. If you were half the man you claim to be, you would agree to 30 debates with Elizabeth Warren, 40, 50, but you're not. Anyway, we are approaching the top of the hour. Just to remind everyone, Wes Carskadden, if you've tuned into the program before, Wes Carskadden will be joining me sometime in the second hour. Hopefully, the sooner the better. And Brad Friedman and Desi Doyen of the Green News Report and BradBlog.com will be joining us for the segment at the bottom of the hour at 30 after we play the Green News Report. It should be fun. Coming up, we're also going to talk about Joe the Plumber, or Joe the Non-Plumber, Joe the Fraud, Joe the Dumber, whatever you want to call him. It's all the same. And apparently school doesn't exist in Ohio because he thinks that the Holocaust was caused by gun control. Go lay down. As I said earlier, I have a furry stalker who's asking to be let out. So we're going to go to break. Your music for this break is a remix of the Bionic Commando theme song from the old regular Nintendo game. This is going pretty old school, so enjoy.
Do they have Mic Check Radio in the spirit world?
As a matter of fact, they do not.
This is Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
If you want talk, go to the other guys. If you want conversation, go to Ray Medeiros at usaprogressive.com.
Corporations are people, my friend. We can raise taxes, and of course they are. Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people.
Corporations are not people. Corporations are property. The last time people were property in this country, we fought a civil war.
usaprogressive.com. The conversation starts here. Hi, this is Kenny Pick from Turn Up the Night. Here are some of the hijinks you can expect from my show. Now, Tony, since you're in the UK, I would love to get your opinion of some of our contenders right now. So let's start with our good friend Mitt Romney.
Mr. Smoothie.
Yeah. Have you heard his singing voice? The man has the voice of an angel.
Above the fruited plains.
So.
Brilliant.
Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
Gorgeous dinner, hot springs, table tennis, yukata, geisha, Fujiyama.
Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Oh, wokeness! What the hell?
Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Okay.
Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
And now, live on your computer machine, it's Adam Hebert with Mic Check Radio.
Fuck yeah! And we are back. As I said earlier, this hour will be special. It will be my biggest interview to date. I will be having Brad Friedman and Desi Doyen from BradBlog.com and the Green News Report as my very special guests. I was actually surprised they agreed so easily, considering I am roughly, at this point, equivalent to the crud behind the refrigerator. But since we played the USA Progressive with Ray Medeiros promo, I thought I would make this announcement. Ray Medeiros announced yesterday, I believe, that USA Progressive is now USA Progressive Media. Nothing's really going to change, except he's going to be adding more stuff. So he's adding new media to his website. He said something about a podcast. I'm short on details. And the dog wants out. Oh, no, he doesn't. I will try and get them in time for a broadcast next week, though. I will. Maybe we'll see about having him on again to talk about what this means for USA Progressive. Before we get back into politics, I just want to say, as anyone who has known me for more than a while, they know I'm a huge fan of cartoons and anime, Japanese animation. And I just want to say, earlier today, I watched the season finale for The Legend of Korra. Now, for those of you who don't know, The Legend of Korra is a sequel to the series Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, what is Avatar: The Last Airbender? If you don't know, go to after the show, go to Netflix.com if you have an account, search for it, and watch it. It's a really awesome show, really awesome American cartoon. I would go so far to say that Avatar: The Last Airbender is probably the best American cartoon since Gargoyles. And I'm a huge fan of Gargoyles. I loved Gargoyles. And I don't make that comparison lightly. So, anyway, the season finale, Korra, Legend of Korra, is a sequel to that. And the new Avatar, and in this series, the Avatar can command all four elements. Fire, earth, water, and air. fire, earth, air, and water. People who can bend these can only bend one element. An earthbender can only bend earth, airbender air, etc., etc. The Avatar can bend all four. And this takes place 70 years after Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you don't stop, I will not let you back in. After Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it features a female Avatar. So it has a very strong female lead, which I actually like. I wasn't sure about Korra initially because she just seemed like a really stereotypical tomboy hothead. But she grew on me. And I highly recommend going to Nickelodeon and watching Legend of Korra. That's what it's called. It's not Avatar: Legend of Korra, because James Cameron is an asshole who had to have his binky. You can't use Avatar even though the series was before I made my crappy cat movie. But I encourage you to check it out. It's all up for free at Nickelodeon's website, except for the season finale, which should be up Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, check it out. I highly recommend it. Before we get back to politics, I'm going to let the stupid dog out before I have to kick his ass. He will not be coming back in the room, I promise you that. Excuse me. You will not come back. Get out. My apologies. So last hour we started the new regular segment, Adam Hebert's Hypocrisy Files. And we talked about Ron Paul being a big fat hypocrite for taking Social Security and probably Medicare. I don't know. He probably doesn't need Medicare because he's on the congressional plan, which is basically single payer. But like I said, we talked about that. We also talked about Scott Brown being a big chicken shit because he will not debate Elizabeth Warren. And make no mistake, as I said last segment, this isn't about bias. It's not about the evil liberal media, which, by the way, does not exist. This is about him needing to weasel out of a debate because he knows he is going to get fucked up. Elizabeth Warren will shove an intellectual boot up his ass. I mean, I don't even understand how Scott Brown got his seat in the first place, considering how liberal Massachusetts is. Except for the fact that Martha Coakley was a really horrible candidate. And Scott, I'll give him this. Scott Brown, personable guy. Okay. Good looking. Not that I go that way, but I can see him as charismatic. But I mean, I don't know. But he knows what's going to happen if he debates Elizabeth Warren on neutral or friendly territory to her. She is going to take him out back by the woodshed and beat him like a redheaded stepchild. And by the way, my use of that does not mean I approve of beating children, be they redheads or not. You never know. I'm hoping Newsbusters is listening. I want to hit the big times. You hear that, Newsbusters? Yoo-hoo! I'm apparently not on their radar yet because I haven't started receiving the horribly misspelled, racist, anti-Semitic emails yet. Those are the best. They're like wine. Anywho, let's talk about Joe the plumber. As I said earlier, apparently school is out forever in Ohio. Because Joe the plumber, who let's go back in time. First of all, his name isn't Joe the or plumber. That was a lie he cooked up to get a question in to President Obama. He was basically a conservative mole sent by the McCain campaign to ask a bullshit question in an attempt to get a stupid response. It didn't work, but it gave John McCain a handy little talking point in the debates, which made him very happy. I'm a huge fan of Reboot, by the way. Huge fan of Reboot. But he's not a plumber. His name is not Joe, it is Samuel Wurzelbacher. So I suspect he's of German descent, or, he's from that region, the Scandinavian region, most likely. But the bottom line is, he released a new ad recently. He is running for the seat held by Dennis Kucinich, and of course, I'm sure our audience is completely aware of what happened. Basically, because of Republican jackassery and gerrymandering, they forced two of our best liberal Democrats in the House into the same district, and there was a primary fight, and Dennis Kucinich lost. How? I don't know. Unless the new district was slightly less blue than it was before. That's a possibility. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Ohio. We'll have to get Kenny Pick or Tom Schaefer on sometime to discuss all matters Ohio. But the fact of the matter is we lost Dennis Kucinich, and Joe the dumbass is trying his best to fight off Marcy Kaptur. I'm sure his people are telling him, look, Sam, this isn't working. You look like an asshole. Worse off, you look like a dumb asshole. But let's listen to a cut from his new ad, and we'll talk about it. It's about 15 seconds. Here we go.
In 1939, Germany established gun control. From 1939 to 1945, 6 million Jews and 7 million others, unable to defend themselves, were exterminated.
The Holocaust happened because of gun control. Ignore all the facts, folks. Joe the plumber nailed it on the head. And we're going to be talking a bit about Darrell Issa and his partisan witch hunt for a part of this program. A special part of this program. My personal favorite part. I hope that's not giving away too much. But, and I was actually thinking about holding off on this until Wes got here. The problem is, of course, because he's a gun dude. The problem is, of course, I've got 3 hours to fill. So anyway, Joe the plumber says the Holocaust was caused by gun control. Now we all know this isn't true because we are actually capable of intelligent thought. We have read history books. We understand that there were a bunch of factors involved. One of the leading ones was the Catholics preaching hatred towards the Jews for killing Jesus of Nazareth. And the blood libel. And stuff like that. So let's be honest here. There was more to the Holocaust. I mean, maybe Hitler disarmed places he... Guess what? That's what any conqueror does, asshole. You think a king conquers a kingdom and he's going to leave swords and bows in the populace? Of course not. He's going to confiscate them and probably destroy them. Okay. You know, I don't understand this man. It's probably excuse me. You know. Ah, come on. Darn it. I had a very, well, let's see here. But the fact of the matter is that, and someone, I believe, that Snorky, Ustreamer 4875552, is that you, Snork? It looks like we're having problems with Ustream today. I don't know why. I am actually kind of peeved. Alright, Snork says that the Jews would not have used guns anyway because they were passive. They believed in following the rules because they thought that if they did, it would improve things for them. And that's generally how it is for anyone, but they probably had a religious issue with it too. But, you know, like I said, the first act of a conquering power against the conquered power is forced disarmament. Nothing special about that, Joe dumbass. No wonder I can't find it. It's not there. But there was more to the Holocaust than that. And for Joe DePlumber to cheapen it by using it in a political ad, it's just patently offensive. And I'm not Jewish. I probably have Jewish, you know, I probably have some Jewish family members on my family tree, but my family's Catholic, which is part of the reason why I'm virulently anti-Catholic. But, the fact of the matter is that he is using the Holocaust to make a political point. And it's patently offensive. And where are the Jewish groups? You know, I don't know any. I know they exist, but the Anti-Defamation League, where are they? Hello? This guy is using the tragedy that happened to your people and several million others to make a political point, say, vote for me. Where are you, Anti-Defamation League? You don't want the Holocaust to happen again? Don't let it be used for cheap political stunts like this. Nothing is sacred to Republicans. Never has been, never will be. Excuse me. Sorry about that. They have no shame. They don't care. They just, you know, if it gets them into power, which is what they crave beyond all else, it's good. They believe that they are serving a higher power by getting themselves elected. So, we're going to be taking a break in about 5 minutes. I just want to remind everyone that we will be having Brad Friedman and Desi Doyen at the after this break. We'll be playing the Green News Report. I want to remind our listeners my listeners, if there are any technical difficulties, I am in the channel. I need to know about them. I'm working, I've done, like I said, I did several tests. Everything should be fine. I have green lights everywhere I see. So if you see something that contradicts that, I need to know. Yeah, thanks, Snark. I appreciate it. Like I said, I worked really hard on this. Just, I've even got my desktop in here, so if something happens, we have... Anyway, we're going to break a little early because I want as much time with Brad and Desi as possible. Wes Karskadin should be joining us soon. I hope he is. Let me double check and make sure I'm not missing him. I don't see him. Yeah, he is not on yet, but hopefully he'll be joining us. We're gonna break. This is the Green News Report. And then we will be back. Hopefully with Wes. If not, it'll be me, Brad, and Desi for the rest of the hour. And then we'll go through the rest of my show prep. Anyway, enjoy the break. Here we go.
Let's share the milk of human kindness.
You're listening to Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio. The More Me Show with DJ Downtown and Eddie Herradura. Live from our nation's capital every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern with hilariously scathing inches from the Beltway analysis of this week's political and social developments. The More Me Show at ProgressiveBlendRadio.com and RadioOrNot.com.
It's Thursday, June 21, 2012.
Our scarcest resources is time. It is running out.
Good news and bad news, mostly bad, from the Rio Earth Summit.
We are seeing powerful images of dangerous and damaging flooding coming from Duluth today.
Deluged in Duluth. Awkward, 3 new oil spills complicate Canada's Keystone Pipeline dreams. Plus, Greenpeace billboard rejected. You'll never guess their offensive slogan.
What was it?
You'll never guess.
What was it?
You'll never guess.
All of that guessing and more straight ahead from BradBlog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
Our efforts to protect biodiversity itself will exceed the requirements of the treaty.
Wow. George Bush Sr., 20 years ago, a Republican president saying the word biodiversity. Those were the days. This is your Green News Report. Okay, Des, did you hear George Bush Sr. 20 years ago in Rio saying that we were going to exceed the requirements of the treaty?
Yeah, who knew we'd look back fondly on George Bush Sr. as being the environmental president.
Well, maybe you look at him fondly. I look at him as a commie pinko lefty, which he obviously is. One other point before we get back to Rio and more, I see that NASA has spotted frozen water on the moon.
Yes, that's good news if we're ever going to get off this planet.
That's it. I'm out of here. Fly me to the moon.
But you may have to deal with Moon Mayor Gingrich.
Oh, good point. I'll stay here for now. What do you have for us today?
We'll have some more on Rio in just a moment, but first, some quick headlines. Deluge in Duluth.
The area has been pounded with rain.
This overwhelming the storm sewer system with more rain possible, and they are very concerned that if the storm continues, that this damage could get a lot worse.
The governor of Minnesota has declared a state of emergency for the city of Duluth in northwestern Minnesota. It's the latest in a trend toward extreme storms in the Midwest. Breaking all-time records, the intense storm on Tuesday dumped 9 inches of rain in just 12 hours. The torrential flooding destroyed roads and inundated the city zoo, where several animals drowned in their enclosures.
More record flooding, more extreme weather, more and more of what scientists have predicted for decades is now coming to pass. But let's pay no attention to that. What else do you have?
Meet North America's newest oil spills. Yes, that's plural. Now in the tar sands of Canada. Alberta Premier Alison Redford is considering ordering a safety review of Alberta's pipelines after a third major oil pipeline spill in 1 month dumped 60,000 gallons of oil into a creek on Monday. It's part of a spate of spills over the last year that have complicated efforts by Canada's Conservative Harper administration to convince the U.S. and Canada's own Western tribal nations to allow the construction of 2 new massive pipelines to export the dirty tar sands oil from Alberta.
This is really the first I've heard of it. It's not playing in our media down here, and so I don't think it's going to hurt those Republicans who are pushing for that Keystone Pipeline at all. They'll just ignore it as if it never happened.
Meanwhile, a billboard company in Edmonton, Alberta, has rejected a new Greenpeace billboard. The slogan that was deemed too offensive for Canadians, well, calling attention to oil spills. The billboard said, quote, "When there's a huge solar energy spill, it's just called a nice day."
They rejected that billboard?
Yes, they did.
On what grounds?
The company says no comment, but it's obviously offensive in the middle of Alberta's tar sands communities.
I see. Have a nice day.
Protesters danced in the streets of Rio de Janeiro on Wednesday as high-level officials from the UN's 190 member nations meet through Friday at the UN Conference on Sustainable Development.
Failure is not an option. The conference is too important.
They're there to hammer out agreements to address the linked problems of poverty, hunger, energy, and environmental degradation. It's the 20th anniversary of the first landmark Earth Summit in 1992 that was also held in Rio. But unlike 20 years ago, this time the conference is delivering on low expectations. In a speech opening the conference, UN General Secretary Ban Ki-moon acknowledged the lack of progress over the last 20 years and warned delegates that time is running out to act on global problems.
20 years ago, the Earth Summit put sustainable development on the global agenda. Yet, let me be frank, our efforts have not lived up to the measure of the challenge.
Our scarcest resources is time. It is running out.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is attending in place of President Obama. There has been some good news on modest agreements and some new initiatives, but pretty much everyone is saying that the current draft agreement is weak, ridiculously vague, and so far only agrees to agree on a roadmap to action at some later date.
Oi. And the other difference, as we noted at the top, was that 20 years ago, we had a president of the United States who was actually in Rio, promising to carry through with the treaty and promising, in fact, to exceed that treaty. Man, how times have changed. For more on that story and all the others we couldn't get to today, please check out our website at greennews.bradblog.com. While you're there, please consider a donation to help sponsor the Green News Report so we can tell you and me things we won't hear anywhere else. From bradblog.com, I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
And this has been your Green News Report.
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and
Mic Check Radio?
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
This is Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio.
And And we are back. Unfortunately, it looks like Wes will not be joining us until the next hour. I hope you guys like that liner I whipped up. It's a little reveal into my sense of humor. Anyway, just a quick recap. Last hour, last segment, we talked about Joe the Plumber, who is in desperate need of a history lesson because he thinks the Holocaust was caused by gun control. Go lay down. And the dog. I don't know why I keep letting him in, folks, because I keep getting burned every time. Go lay down. Go lay down. I can't resist those eyes. And I feel kind of bad for him because he's a mama's boy and mom's out of town. So, if I'm in my room, basically, like I said, he's my stalker. You know the old song, Every Step You Take by Sting? This dog was the inspiration for that song. Oh, I see we have Wes Karskadin just in time. Let's see if he's ready. He may need it looks like my strategy of buying 2 minutes paid off. UFOs. Yes, like I said, if you guys listen to Turn Up the Night, you know I am a huge fan of Ghostbusters. I saw it 3 times over the summer. Oh, never mind there. Here, we're going to add Wes. Okay. Hello. Wes, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Let me double check my volume. Looks like we're having some what the hell? Hello? Okay. What the hell? This is why I did all those tests. Alright, we're gonna let him go. Something's wrong. Either he's not... it's looking like he's not... Okay. What the hell? Okay, what am I doing wrong? Okay, so... go lay down. Incoming IM. Incoming contacts. Incoming voicemail. Incoming file. Incoming request for details. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let's double check. Because, okay, test. Hello? Hello. I'm sorry about this, folks. Okay, it looks like it's a repeater problem. So... it looks like it's a repeater problem. Line 2 to line 3. Ah, there's the problem. Line 3. I apologize for this, folks, but better we figure it out with Wes than have to figure it out with Desi. So let me double check all my repeaters because that is basically what I am running on. Okay, line 2 to line 3. Microphone line 1. Line 2. Okay, I see the problem. So we need line 3 to... This is the last time. You're not coming back in here. Out! Okay. So, what am I doing? Let's try and get to Wes one more time, because I think I saw the problem. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Oh, no. Oh. Line 1, 2, line 3. Here we go. Testing. 1, 2. Hello. Hello. Alright, I don't know what's going on, folks. We gotta figure this out, otherwise we are in trouble. Line 3. So, what is the problem? Line 1 to line 3. Hello. Hello. Ah. Come on. Is microphone on line 1? Microphone on line 1. Line to line 3. So... Alright, I'm going to try signing out and sign back in. We'll see if that helps. I apologize. Damn it. I can't believe this. Alright, here we go. I apologize again. Don't give me that shit. It's not letting me sign in. What the hell? Alright, we're gonna just, I don't know what we're gonna do. All I know is... we gotta get this figured out because Brad and Desi are waiting for me and I am not gonna look like an idiot. So let's double check this. Hello. 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 Okay, so what am I doing wrong? Hello. Alright, I'm going to shut all my repeaters down. Alright, let's try this one more time. Here we go. We have audio. Alright, we're going to get Wes in the call, then we're calling Brad and Desi. I'm doing this while I know it's working. Alright, can you hear me now?
Sounds good.
Alright, good. I apologize for that. It was a repeater issue. Nothing I could really do. And why won't I may have to call Brad and Desi and then let you in on the call. I'm gonna call them first, okay?
Okay.
I apologize. I don't know why it won't let... I guess I have to call them first. But anyway. Oh, wait. Here we go. Let's try this. See what happens. I may lose you, but we'll see. If you call. Yeah,
I got nowhere else to be.
Alright, here we go. We're getting Brad and Desi on.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Brad Friedman?
Hello. Yes, sir, Mr. Hebert.
Yes, this is Adam Hebert from Mike Check Radio. I apologize for being late. Last minute technical troubles again. So...
Look, no worries. Believe me, I know what it's like. I'm just glad you're up and at 'em and making noise and raising hell.
Well, I'm trying. You know, I've got good muses, including you two. So, but part of the reason why I wanted to have you two on this week was I just wanted to say thank you. Well, obviously I wanted to say more than that, but I wanted to say thank you for letting us be an affiliate of the Green News Report. I've listened to it mostly through Talking Left and Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick. Although when you guys guest host for Mike Malloy, you play it then too, and that was my first experience. But thank you very much, and thank you very much for the nice introduction to the rest of the audience. I really appreciated that as well. So thank you both. You know.
Well, our pleasure, and we should thank you because you know, if folks like you didn't pick it up and make noise with it, it wouldn't do a hell of a lot of good. So the more people like you and others who share it with the whole wide world, believe me, we're delighted about it. So thank you, Adam.
Well, I enjoy it. You know, I really like the comedy you guys mix in, and I just so you know, you're currently on with Wesley Karskadden. He's a regular semi co-host of mine because I don't want to seem like a monologuing jerk. So, Wes, would you like to say hi to them?
How's it going?
Who? What's his name?
Wesley Karskadden.
My name's Wesley Karskadden.
Russell?
Wesley Karskadden.
Oh, Wesley. Hey,
it's okay. I don't expect you to spell it.
Hey, Wesley. Also, Desi Doyen is. I think she's here. Are you
Yes.
here, Des?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. I heard you at the beginning
Can
of the
you
call.
hear me at all?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Desi.
Okay, I can.
Oh,
There
don't
is
tell
a
me there's
delay.
more.
I know that's Ustream that does that when the call is over the internet. So that can,
Yeah, well, I
that can
use
be tough. But speaking of monologuing jerks and comedy, all that comedy is Desi Doyen's. I'm just her sidekick.
Well, see,
Hardly.
one of the things is that I'm a very reactionary person, and I cannot be funny planned. It has to be in reaction to something. So, do you get any of your inspiration for your comedy from Mystery Science Theater by chance? Because it seems like that your comedy is in that model to some extent.
Well, that's an interesting question. No, I haven't. I haven't watched that for years and years and years, and I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, one of the things that we do when we're putting the Green News Report together, well, it sprang out of years ago when I was guest hosting for on a radio station up in San Francisco, and they had just changed their name from The Quake to Green 960. And Desi had always been big into green news, and I said, well, Des, why don't you come on the show? It's the afternoon drive time show. Why don't you come on the show, read your green news, and I will heckle you. And that's basically what we're still doing all of these years later. So each day when we, sort of get together to lay down the Green News Report, she knows exactly what she's going to talk about. I don't really. I just start heckling her throughout, and if it turns into be actual comedy, I'm delighted. But we never know when we're actually sitting down to record the news.
Well, and I want to say that I really like that style of comedy. And when you say heckle, I want to make it clear that we're not talking about that jackass in the Rose Garden from the other week. This is a respectful kind of heckling. Now, the Green News Report, I mean, I know, I don't know the inner workings of BradBlog.com. I read it on occasion, but I'm assuming that most of the other material, like the voting issues, that's pretty much all you, correct, Brad?
That is what?
That the other stuff, like the voting issues, the voter integrity, all that's mostly you, right? That's mostly your forte?
I do the election stuff, most of the voting stuff. We have an attorney, Ernest Canning, who is also on a similar beat from time to time. But yeah, that's more my focus, although the way I watch Desi's back on her green issues. She also watches my back on all the other stories and is often editing in the background and helping me get it right and not screw up the spelling and all of that. So it's a joint venture all around.
Well, like I said, I wasn't sure. But since I brought up voting, is there any are there any updates from that race in Wisconsin? Because I'm from Illinois. I'm from Elgin, Illinois, which is about an hour and a half from the border. So Wisconsin plays a really big role, in that area because it's it's right next to the border. So are there any updates from that particular race, from that recount?
Well, let's see. We have a couple of. Are you speaking specifically about Scott Walker's race or about the state Senate race that was a recall?
The state Senate race. I apologize.
From the Senate race, they are
yes,
on day 2 of their recount. As I understand it, the Republican who was thought to have lost the race by about 800 votes has gained, I'm told, a few votes during the counting process. It may go on for another week or two, so we'll see what actually happens. It's nice that they're examining at least some of the paper ballots from that election that were otherwise optically scanned by a computer and never actually checked by human beings. I should also add, by the way, since you're in Illinois, there is a great election integrity group that you need to look into, the Illinois Ballot Integrity Project, and I believe their website is IBIP, and they do a great job of watchdogging the counties across the state out there, because there is a lot of counties in Illinois that I would be very concerned about if I lived out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I will admit that sometimes there's some fishy stuff in Illinois politics. I mean, I'm not one of those Democrats who says everything the party does or anything someone affiliated with the party does is right. I'm one of those people, and I suspect you'll probably agree with me. I'm one of the sort of people that says, if we're going to win, let's win properly. If you're going to fight with honor. And I guess that kind of comes from I'm a student of Japanese, the language, and I also have to learn a lot of the culture stuff. And Bushido, it went to my head, and but I don't want to win by cheating.
I will.
Pardon?
Yeah, I would tell you that. Aside from much of Chicago, where the votes are 100% unverifiable on those touchscreen systems that they use, as I understand, across much of Chicago, there's nothing you can do about it. These are not matters, as far as I'm concerned, of Democratic or Republican. If the citizens can't oversee their own votes, you got trouble, because at the end of the day, we don't know if the person announced as the winner was actually the winner. That said, there are a bunch of counties that are really troubling. As a matter of fact, I think it was a month or two ago, the entire DuPage County Election Commission was dissolved, was fired after an audit found that there was all kinds of wrongdoing, and this is in a very Republican area, as I understand it, and the entire commission was essentially fired and done away with. This was a commission that had been corrupt for years, that we've covered from time to time at bradblog.com. So again, it's not Republican or Democratic. These are issues, and I applaud you saying you want it to be done fairly. That's what it's about. Not only doing it fairly, but for the citizens to know that it has been done fairly, if that makes sense.
Well, in a democracy, the right to vote is the most sacred. My understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the most egregious problems come from the Diebold voting machines. And am I wrong, or did Chuck Hagel have owned part of that company? Chuck Hagel, the retired Republican senator from Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, you're somewhat right, somewhat wrong. It's not just the Diebold electronic machines that are of concern. So are the electronic machines made by Sequoia Voting Systems and Hart InterCivic, and in fact, a company named ES&S, which is the largest voting machine company in the world. They're based out of Omaha, Nebraska, and that's the one that Chuck Hagel was at one time the president or on the board. I can't remember what his actual position was, but he was, in fact, on the board of ES&S, the largest electronic voting system company in the world, and did, in fact, end up winning his Senate seat in an election that was run on ES&S, unverifiable ES&S touchscreen voting systems. And it was the first time that the Republican had taken that Senate seat in about 20 years in Nebraska.
Curious that. But, Wes, did you have anything you want to say, or were you just coughing?
Oh, no, it's interesting to note that these are the same people who talk about, we need to prevent voter fraud, are the same ones championing touchscreen systems. It's a little suspicious.
Well, it is, but I will say this. Again, for years, following the 2000 election, the Democrats were in favor of the touchscreen systems. Now, I think they did not fully understand what mess they were getting themselves into. But, if you have a suspicion here, you're right to have a suspicion. But I will tell that same thing to Republicans, because often, they're forced to vote on 100% unverifiable touchscreen systems in places that are run by Democrats. For example, in Chicago, the votes are cast, that are cast on touchscreen systems there are equally unverifiable, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. So, I just think citizens of any party ought to be able to oversee their own elections, and you cannot do it. It is 100% impossible on a touchscreen machine. But as we saw up in Wisconsin, where they have mostly paper ballots, those paper ballots are still no good if you don't bother to actually count them. If instead you run them through a computer tally machine and just go with whatever it is that the computers tell you without bothering to check the paper ballots, because these computers get it wrong. We see this time and time again in election after election all across the country, where the computers announce the wrong winner. They announce the loser to be the winner, or they lose thousands and thousands of votes and give no notice to election officials, or they can simply be gamed by insiders, nefarious insiders, very easily. So unless you count those paper ballots by human beings, you don't know. You're simply dealing with faith-based elections at that point.
And I would like to, just to say that in Iraq, which is the democracy we set up, whether or not you agree with the war, they use, ta-da, hand-counted paper ballots. If it's good enough for Iraq, why is it not good enough for us?
It's good enough for the Iowa Republican Party, who runs their all-important, first-in-the-nation caucus to determine their presidential nominee. That's exactly what they use themselves. The Republican Party uses that. And by the way, they don't require any photo identification. And they use hand-counted paper ballots. And it was, in fact, those hand-counted paper ballots, because the public was overseeing that counting, it was the public oversight that helped us find out weeks later that it wasn't Mitt Romney who won the Iowa caucuses. It was actually Rick Santorum who got more votes than Mitt Romney, and we only know that because the public came out and they said, no, wait a minute, I was at this caucus site, and the Republican Party has reported the total votes incorrectly, the number of votes incorrectly on their on the GOP website, and that was only because the public was allowed to oversee the entire counting process. That is the ticket.
I'm no fan of Rick Santorum. Personally, the man scares me, but the idea that Mitt Romney can basically purchase his way to the GOP nomination, to anyone being able to do that, scares me. And so I'm glad someone was there paying attention, saying, "Wait a minute, this doesn't add up." But we're reaching the top of the hour. Would you like to stay for a little longer, or do you have to go? I know I said half an hour, but you're welcome to stay, because since I screwed up.
No, and it's not your fault that you screwed up, because I know how that happens. And problem is, we've actually got to get out shortly to another meeting. So,
well, that's
Des,
fine.
I don't know. Are you able to stick? Are you able to stick around,
Well,
or
if you
do
need to
have
go-
run as well?
If you need to go, that's fine.
Well,
I just
actually, can you guys hear me?
yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
Yep, I hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry, it's just I can barely hear myself. So, and actually, I
Have
can't
we been
say
joined-
either because we have to get to that. So.
Okay, well, I just I thought I
Desi,
would ask.
Adam called you. Adam called you, ma'am.
I know it happens. I know.
I'm an.
Thanks anyway, Adam.
If it helps, I'm an army brat. My father's retired staff sergeant in the army. My grandfather was a Marine. My other grandfather was in Korea. I've been raised saying yes, sir, yes, ma'am. And I know that people say, "Oh, it makes me feel old," and I apologize, but it's more of a reflex. If that helps.
That's totally fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. But it is kind of funny because Brad likes to tease me about that.
And of course, he did. Did you notice, Desi? He didn't call me sir. He just called you ma'am.
I thought I called you sir, but again, I just want to thank you both for taking some time to talk to us, and I hope that I haven't done such a bad job that you won't consider coming again. Because I've enjoyed it.
Oh, good heavens, no! It's been fun. We'll probably have a better technological situation next time.
Well, I'm working
next
on it.
time you can get more out of Desi because, as usual, I monologued and use up all the time with my election this and election that stuff. There's all the real good information. Actually, Desi is keeping secret, so you need to have her on next time and drill her for the actual important information.
I think we'll do that. What do you think, Wes? Having Desi on, just
Sure.
out of fairness.
I'm pretty much game for anything.
Okay, well, yeah, I see. I try to avoid monologuing because I see The Incredibles. I know what happens when a villain monologues, so I always try to avoid that. But anyway,
That's why I'm here to interrupt him.
But anyway, thank you both so much. Brad Freeman and Desi Doyen from the Green News Report and BradBlog.com. Thank you for your warm welcome and your support for this program. I'm going to keep refining it, tweaking. So far, no real technical issues aside from the repeater issue, because I do my audio on repeaters. So if I mess up, it hurts, especially on Skype. But anyway, thank you both very much. Hopefully, I'll probably be in touch sometime sometime in the foreseeable future. I just don't know when. So thank you both very, very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. You too, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. Take care, Wesley.
Nice to meet y'all.
Okay, and that was Brad Friedman and Desi Doyen from Brad. As I said, from there I go again. I'm getting in the habit of turning
So
my.
how do you spell that again?
How do I spell what?
Blah 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 blah. Sorry, I'm just being a jerk.
No, it's cool. No, I was just saying that I'm turning my R's into L's and my L's into R's, like in Japanese class.
Well,
But anyway, we're a little long for the break. Wes, I am glad you could join me.
It's my pleasure.
Anyway, darn it, that is, I already used that one. Hold on, I gotta fix my break, because the randomly generated break gave me something I've already used.
And therein lies the problem with Shuffle.
Yeah, I here we go. We'll do this one, because I'm actually pretty proud of this, and Wes, you can attest to the truth of this one. When we get back, so here we go. We're going to break. Your music for this break is a remix from Earthbound, the old school Super Nintendo game called Snowbound. We'll see you at the other side of the break.
You're listening to Adam Hebert.
A man with breath.
Something's wrong. Crap. What did I do wrong? Oh, that's right. I didn't set up my box. So that's line 2 to line. Hold on. I need to make sure line 2 to line 3. Wes, can I get a sound check on this?
Sweet.
Certainly.
Did you hear that?
Sounds good.
Okay, you heard sweet?
Yep.
Okay. One more time. I just want to make sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Okay, good. We're going to go to break. Wait a minute. I need to make sure I can hear this because otherwise I can't. You should have been here. You're lucky you weren't here last week. I'm going to be honest with you on that. But anyway, we're going to go to break. Here we go. And
You're listening to Adam Hebert,
a man with breathtaking anger management issues,
on Mike Check Radio. Unfiltered truth, news, and opinion. Filter Free Radio with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott. Live every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Radio or not. And filterfreeradio.com.
I'm not claiming to have any answers, let alone the answer or a answer or a logical answer. I
don't even know my name.
Heck, I don't even know where I live.
That's the one.
But the point is just starting the conversation is where it starts. You just simply start talking about it, and then you start thinking about it, and then we're thinking about something that could bring about a real solution or a real change to really benefit a whole bunch of people, rather than a reality TV show that is as relevant as gossip on the Jersey Shore. It's garbage.
To force critical thought on people.
I want to look at things how they really are and talk about things how they really are, and maybe we can really solve some really serious problems with real solutions.
Filter Free Radio, Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Radio or not. And filterfreeradio.com.
Hi, friends. This is Tom Hartman.
This is Stephanie Miller.
Hey, this is Hal Sparks.
I'm Brad Friedman. I approve of Nicole Sandler's RadioOrNot.com.
Radio or Not.
Radio or Not.
RadioOrNot.com. RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com. RadioOrNot.com.
The hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert. Okay. Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
Have you checked your mic? If you haven't, somebody else has. That's Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio.
Fuck yeah! The body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ Killjoy detective.
It's Adam Hebert with Mic Check Radio.
Oops, I kind of doubled up on the openings there. Anyway, we are back for the third and final hour of this week's Mic Check Radio. Just to recap, in case you weren't here, I suspect that, we pretty much have the same audience. Wesley Karskadden is on with me for the remainder of the show, and we just got done talking to Brad Friedman, Desi Doyen of the Green News Report and BradBlog.com. And Wes, I don't know if you saw the news, but Asshole of the Week now has a jingle. I busted my hump. I busted my hump on that thing, and it's still not perfect, but I felt it was close enough to air ready. We will be premiering that tonight, sometime within the next half hour.
Oh snap!
It's I think, in the great words of the Hangman from Blazing Saddles, it's gonna be a doozy. I'm not good with voices, as I said before. Just a quick couple quick things. Wes, I said it. I did this at the beginning of the program. I've mentioned before that I take my inspiration directly from the fine folks at Radio or Not, the network run by Nicole Sandler, who I heard is delightful, and we'll see what happens. But Shano and Danielle, who do the Wednesday show, it is currently Wednesday, they have had their show Talking Left on hiatus because Shane took a job working for Tom Hartman as his new associate producer to replace Jacob Dean, host of Filter Free Radio on the fine Radio Not Network. And because Shane is now busy 5 days a week for between 8 plus hours, let's just put it that way, they're talking about moving their show to Saturdays. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a big common courtesy, professional courtesy guy. If they want the slot, we will probably be moving to a different time. I don't know what that would mean for you, because I really enjoy having you on, but the fact of the matter is that, obviously I'm not just going to give it up for nothing. We would have to sit down and talk, because I would be, I've got some ideas of what I would like to get out of it. And, I'm not going to say this is how it has to be or else I'm not giving it up. But the fact of the matter is that there's no point in competing directly with them because we share the same audience. And I wouldn't do that to
dicks, in other words.
Yeah, we're not dicks. I wouldn't ask them to choose. So, as I said, we'll cover more of this after the show. But just to make it clear, the show is not going to go anywhere, even if Shane and Danielle decide they want this slot. I'm not just, like I said, I'm not just going to say, yeah, take it, whatever. I'm going to try my best to get something out of it, maybe an in at Radio or Not, but we'll see. But I just want to share everyone that, because Kenny also said this was only for the summer. This show is not only for the summer. I just reserve the right to take extra time off as my school schedule dictates. If I have a final on Friday, I'm probably not going to be on the air that Saturday because I'm probably going to be heading out. But anyway, we'll cover.
Then I will usurp your power.
Actually, also Jacob Dean will be on the air Monday. He swears to me on a Bible and cross. He is on the air this Monday. So check out Filter Free Radio Monday 6 to 8 Central on Radio or Not. Excuse me.
So wait, when did swearing on a Bible and cross mean much of anything to either of us?
It doesn't mean. Well, I was just
once again, just being a dick. So I guess I am a dick, actually. Huh.
It's cool. But anyway, so this hour, Wes, I don't know. I'm assuming that I sent you the show blog, but just so you know, we started a new segment on the show called Adam Hebert's Hypocrisy Files, and I profiled Ron Paul, who says Social Security is just like slavery. So he takes it. He collects Social Security. This hour, we're going to cover our asshole of the day of the week. And we're going to talk about 9/11 some, because some disturbing stuff came out about 9/11 over the week. We'll discuss that as soon as I can find the sheet with that. And we're going to talk about...
pull it up real quick.
We are going to... Oh, shit. Where is it? It's somewhere around here. Damn. I'm not very good at this, am I? And we're going to talk some...
That's how practice goes.
We're going to talk some about the immaturity of the right wing. But first, I think it is time. It's almost the segment's halfway over. Wes, I think it is time to premiere the asshole of the week jingle. And it is
Let's
not
reveal our assholes.
It's not where it's supposed to be, so I just need one crappy minute. Stupid son of a bitch. Like I said, not you. The
Oh, this must be a bad one.
It's just I'm tired of the technical difficulties. I'm tired of Anyway, so here we go. Asshole of the week. The jingle. I hope you all enjoy. So here we go.
Who is he? He's an asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? Asshole. Major asshole. I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Were you born an asshole?
Asshole?
Or did you work at it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine. 'Cause you're an asshole tonight.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Alright, so that's the first. It's actually two halves, so it's technically two jingles for the price of one. Enjoy. But
what a bargain.
Yes. Yeah, it's as Stephanie Miller would say, it's a bargoon. But this is probably going to be my biggest takedown until Antonin Scalia gives me a reason to legitimately call him an asshole. I mean, he's already. I try not to look back, But this is a big takedown. Wes, have you been watching all this hysteria over Operation Fast and Furious?
Oh, don't even get me started.
So you at least understand it's a load of bullshit, right?
Well, oh yeah, well, okay. One of the biggest issues that I get into, that I will go off on for me, is because I'm a huge gun hobbyist. I love me some firearms. I'm a huge proponent of gun rights, and so it drives me nuts when I see this paranoid shit from the right about, oh, this is just a conspiracy to take our guns away.
Yeah,
there's no conspiracy. It ain't happening. Deal with it.
All right, so let's. I've got some clips to play for this, but I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. The asshole of the week this week is Daryl Issa. He is the head of the. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, Daryl Issa. But they basically voted to hold him in contempt because he is not producing documents. Here's the thing. The documents are documents that basically have the names of active agents in the field. And Eric Holder will not release them because he knows if he releases them to Daryl Issa will leak them to the papers and he'll have dead ATF agents. Not that Daryl Issa cares, because the only good ATF agent to a Republican is a dead one. They don't care about Border Patrol. They don't care about ATF. This is about a scalp. It's also about one other thing. We'll post that in a minute, but Rachel Maddow did an excellent analysis of this, and actually Stephen Colbert did a better one, but we're going to do Rachel Maddow first. And I doubt we're going to play the entire thing, but we're going to at least listen to the first part, and this is basically her explaining what actually happened.
This was the way that he would explain it on his blog. He called it the Gun Walker program. Obama's Gun Walker was a deliberate conspiracy versus the Second Amendment. The gun confiscationists had always danced in the blood of every mass shooting and gotten nowhere, to their chagrin and frustration. What was needed was a game changer, something that fit the meme of, we've got to tighten up on American gun owners, gun stores, and gun shows because they are feeding the slaughter.
I just want to say that is actually true. When Columbine happened, I danced naked in the streets, and there are pictures of that online. Please don't search for them.
Oh my!
Good.
In response to that quote, though, yeah, if this claim they're making is true, you know what's noticeably absent? Anybody saying anything about gun control except the right.
Well, and actually,
nobody's brought it up.
Actually, she does mention that as well. Or no, Stephen Colbert points that out. But I just wanted to interject with that funny little epic fail. Anyway, back to the clip.
Mexico was perfect. If there weren't enough semi-auto assault rifles in Mexico, the ATF could fix that, and the murders would follow, justifying the policy change of cracking down on assault rifles, gun shows, and the like. This is crazy, right? I mean, the theory here is the Obama administration sold too many guns in order to create gun violence, in order to cause revulsion in the American people about the horrible thing those guns are doing, in order to make people feel more positive about gun control, so then they could get away with taking everybody's guns away secretly someday, after they stop selling all the extra guns to get there. They're being super lax in gun control as a conspiracy in order to be secretly super tough on gun control. What? Yes, what? This is the theory. This is the theory cooked up by the Break Their Windows guy.
And she's talking about a blogger. But it's a whole bunch of nothing, folks. This is, I mean...
Yeah, it's all just completely... It's bullshit, honestly. It's a completely fabricated theory. That this is something that I've been on about. It's a big thing for me. Since the day Obama was inaugurated, he has said exactly 0 words about guns. Aside from, it's not a priority.
Don't you know that's proof he has a super secret plot to ban guns? That's what they say! I'm not making this shit up!
Speaking Muslim code. Oh, how dare he!
They say that the fact he is not trying to enact gun control is proof he's going to enact gun control. Anyway, we're gonna skip ahead to
the time of the season when they hit the gun issue.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the second clip. Oh nope! Don't you dare do that.
This was the way that he would explain it on his blog. He called it the Gun Walker program. Obama's gun...
Darn it. What the... I screwed up. I've got the same... Apparently, I've got the same clip twice in my box.
Okay, I'll do my best to Stephen Colbert.
Well, no, I've got Stephen Colbert. He should be... He's cool. I've got that. Okay. It's just, I don't have...
Right he is.
Okay. You know...
But the right is hardwired to believe stuff like this. It's not just your uncle, it's all of them.
All right, basically the clip I had was Daryl Issa saying, basically repeating these talking points that it was a super secret conspiracy. And,
right.
I mean, seriously, it's not, folks. I do not... President Obama, me, the Democratic Party does not want your guns. Okay? My official position is...
I want them all. But for my collection.
Yeah. I don't care if you have a handgun, a rifle, a shotgun, whatever, as long as you don't aim it at me and you don't use it to commit crimes. That's simple, right, Wes? Am I asking too much?
Seems like the most reasonable position. You know, I understand. I believe that there should be, a reasonable amount of law. But,
Well, if you need a minigun to go deer hunting, you probably shouldn't be deer hunting. You don't need a machine gun for hunting. You don't need an assault rifle to hunt. This is military hardware, and it is not unreasonable to say we don't want military hardware in the hands of civilians. I'm sorry.
I disagree, but again, that's just because I don't want an M16 to hunt deer. I just want an M16 because it's fucking cool.
Well, and like I said, I understand. I'm not trying to paint. I should be more careful about painting with a broad brush. But the point is that I don't like the idea of military hardware being possessed by a civilian. It's a danger to the police.
It's certainly understandable.
To first responders. I mean, like I said. But anyway, Daryl Issa is my asshole of the week because of his circus, and it was a kangaroo court. Let's be honest. Anyway, before I play us out for asshole of the week, before I play us out for asshole of the week, let's listen to Stephen Colbert. He'll set us straight, I think. There we go. So here we go. Stephen Colbert explains Fast and the Furious. Here we go.
Yes, very clearly. Obama started this gun tracking program in 2006 when he hypnotized George Bush. Then, he secretly ordered Attorney General Holder to order the Justice Department to order the ATF to order gun shops to sell guns to Mexican drug cartels and then lose track of them, thereby panicking Americans to gin up support for the draconian gun control measures that Obama has never introduced. Complicated? Yes. The fevered ramblings of a syphilitic brain? Perhaps. But Occam's razor says, my answer is right or I will cut you with a razor.
Don't you know that a traditional
Sorry. But anyway, I think what the bottom line we have to say to our Republican friends is that
you, my friend, are just a few plums short of a fruit pie.
Because I mean that how and there's this follow up to that, but if we'll play that at the after the break. We're at the bottom of the hour of the segment, and so far it's pretty good. We only had the one issue with my repeaters, and that's human error. God damn, I hate being human. But anyway, Daryl Issa. This is gonna suck because I'm gonna lose my break. Daryl Issa, you are my asshole of the week.
Were you born an asshole?
Asshole?
Or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an hole tonight.
You are the leading massive asshole in the state.
Oh, crap. That's not my what? Anyway, we're going to go to break, and then we're going to be back for the last segment of the show. We're going to talk about, I don't know, which do you want to talk about more, 9/11 or immature jackassery from Republicans? Because we can
9/11 is more of a downer, but then again, so are jackass Republicans.
I really think that this information about 9/11 needs to get out.
Yeah, I think it's a good call.
Anyway, we'll be back after the break. Damn it. My train of thought derailed. We'll be back after the break, and then it'll be time for the rest of the for the last segment of Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert and Wes Karskadin. As always, Wes, thank you for joining me. I always appreciate backup.
Hey, not a problem.
You know, I was worried that I offended you when you showed. Anyway, we're off the break. See you on the flip side.
Don't you know that a traditional Japanese breakfast is steamed rice, miso soup, and a little...
Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Unfiltered truth, news, and opinion. Filter-free radio with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott.
The fundamentals of the system so bad that no matter what you do, eventually you leave in place the motivational factor of money. Money is always the motivator in capitalism. And if that's always the motivator, then eventually the people who do succeed the most are the ones who do the most harm, because that's your only goal. People be damned, environment be damned, let's make the most money. You can externalize all the expenses and internalize all the profits. You know, the monopoly game, whenever one person has all the money and we're all broke, and that's it.
Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
Live every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Because that's exactly what capitalism is. It's a sociopathy where money rules. And if you can make the most money, then you win. And everyone else be damned. How do we break that structure? And how do we reform the system into something that benefits all of us? How rich is too rich, not just how poor is too poor. And so how do you find that balance?
Filter Free Radio, Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Radio or not. And filterfreeradio.com.
Hi, this is Kenny Pick from Turn Up the Night. Here are some of the hijinks you can expect from my show.
That right-wing Republican from Texas was only helping Dennis because he thought Dennis would be easier for Joe the plumber to beat than
Wow. Yeah, I mean, seriously, a pet rock would have been better candidate than Joe the plumber. I think he might actually have been a pet rock before he was a non-plumber. So, but he was a union pet rock, never mind. Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
Well, just who do you think you are, honey?
Adam Hebert.
Or something?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but what did you say?
Oh, photons.
You are?
Adam Hebert.
Yeah, but don't shout or they'll all want one.
The?
Adam Hebert.
No, just A.
Adam Hebert.
Didn't you hear I come in 6-packs?
Oops. I forgot to start the transition back to my shot. We are back for the final segment of the show. With me again, friend of the show, Wes Karskadin. And, I had no idea that last song was in Japanese. I thought Overclocked Remix had an English-only rule for their vocals. So, if you didn't like it, I will ask that because it's in a different language. Just saying. I apologize. I try to listen to everything I pick out.
I doubt it's a big deal.
Yeah, well, it's just, I'm a huge fan of the old school Final Fantasies. And when I saw, it was the Four Fiends, which is one of the best battle themes ever, I had to have
Definitely.
it. And so anyway, we are back. We're going to do some shoutouts real quick, because I don't think we're going to get many more people at this point. And we have Brokehammer. Hi, Brokehammer. Paul Green.
How metal.
Of...
Brokehammer, that's just very metal.
Oh, yeah. Paul Green of Left Wing Radio Stations, who I guess we can call it an affiliate now. He's going to be promoting the show, and hopefully we will get more listeners. And I'll be promoting him. I'm going to be playing his promotion at least once a show. Again, awesome. My breaks are randomly generated. So if it shows up, it shows up. I'm going to try and, if it doesn't show up at least once a show, I will manually drop it in. And we have two guests, one of whom I'm sure is Snorky. Snorky, 2YK, or is it Y2K? 2YK, I think. And I'm pretty sure the other guest is Kat in Ohio. So thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate the support as always, and I have to say the support I have gotten from Kenny Pick particularly, but just the Radio Not folks in general, even though I am kind of a competitor, there's no show in this time slot on Radio or Not, but I am still a competitor as long as I'm not on the network, and I don't know if that's going to change. I'm not going to actually make a move for a while unless I can get a
just
good
do
work.
your thing, man. See where it leads.
But they've been so kind and so generous, and I thank them, Kenny Pick in particular, who did the voice work for our opening. You'll hear him at the end. And
he has the best radio voice I've ever heard. I gotta
doesn't
say.
he? I wish I had that sort of radio voice, but he did a lot of our liners. He also got our friends to do reads for me as well. Tom Schaefer, Deba Kell also have turned up the night, and his wonderful wife Susan, who I'm proud to say I would assume that I'm allowed to call her a friend. She did some wonderful reads, and Wes, my friend John Kendall on Facebook, he's an artist, and he is working on a very lovely logo for the show.
Well, that's cool.
And he sent me the I guess you'd call a rough draft, a sketch, if you will. and I love it. In fact, my only issue was that he had, for the tagline, he had smarter than Michael Savage, sexier than Rush Limbaugh. And I think it sounds better, smarter than Savage, sexier than Limbaugh. That was just my personal opinion. I asked him if he would just make it that. Because I didn't want to be too rude, but at the same time, I just think it sounds better. I think it sounds better.
I agree.
Anyway.
It's just snappier, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you are familiar with liberal talk, you know who Savage and Limbaugh is, because if we're talking about a Savage, it's either going to be Dan Savage of It Gets Better, who famously coined Santorum, the term Santorum.
Yeah, and there's the reason to talk snap about him. He's awesome.
Or Michael Savage, who is a dickweed and a complete and total asshole. And anything he says can be best summed up. I'm completely calm! No, that's not what I wanted to have in my that's not what I wanted to have. But I basically farmed all of Avatar.
Sir, have you been drinking?
No. I basically farmed all of Avatar The Last Airbender for sound clips. And I got a bunch of stuff. Like you, sir, are a few plums short of a fruit pie. That was from Avatar. But let's put it this way. Michael Savage is
cock-juggling thunder cunt.
And I actually got a bunch of movie insults, and I'm going to be having a whole section of my box dedicated to movie insults. Anyway, we're going to talk about 9/11 for the rest of the show, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is big. This is you know, the bloody knife, the gun. This is the smoking gun.
It's time to get pissed off, in other words.
Yes, okay. Everyone knows about the infamous memo Bin Laden determined to strike inside U.S. that Bush received while he was on vacation. And his response was basically, all right, you've covered your ass, go away. I've got to go cut brush. You know, that stupid smirk and laugh.
Yeah.
Dear God, I hate that man. Yeah. And, but this is big. The headline is, new CIA documents show Bush ignored 7 different warnings about imminent attacks. 7! And this doesn't include Bin Laden determined to strike inside the United States. Okay? So,
you don't need to read your memos when you listen to God, man.
Yeah, I mean, I highlighted some of it, and I'm going to try and avoid reading it all, but this is very important. First of all, according to this, perhaps the most damning are the documents showing that the CIA had Osama bin Laden in the crosshairs a full year before 9/11. But they didn't get the funding from the Bush administration White House to take him out, or to even continue monitoring him. You know, Wes, if I didn't know better, I'd say Bush didn't want to catch Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, I wouldn't go quite that far, but he more just didn't give a fuck. You would know.
No.
Some guy named Osama. I don't
hold
know who
on.
that is.
Hold on.
Watch this drive.
He knew who Osama bin Laden was because the Bush family and the bin Laden family go back about 30 years. Remember, George Bush Sr., George H.W. Bush, was with one of the bin Laden family in a hotel room watching 9/11 happen. And of course, as soon as it happened, all of bin Laden's family members were shipped out of the country toot sweet before they could even be interviewed by the FBI. Now, I'm not one of these 9/11 truthers who believes that 9/11 was an inside job. Let's get that straight. I'm not saying Bush Clinton,
it was a big fuck up on many
exactly.
levels.
I am saying Bush was an incompetent asshole.
Yeah, I always loved that argument you got from people back when Bush was president of, there ain't been one since 9/11. Yeah, except there was that one time.
Yeah, 9/11. So here's what the article goes on to say. The CIA materials directly contradict the many claims of Bush officials that it was aggressively pursuing Al-Qaeda prior to 9/11, and that nobody could have prevented predicted the attacks. I don't think the Bush administration would want to see these released because they paint a picture of the CIA knowing something would happen before 9/11, but they didn't get the institutional support that they needed, says Barbara Elias Sanborn, the NSA fellow who edited the materials. In other words, they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, basically. It's like nobody could have predicted it. That title of the memo, dartboard. Seriously, just threw darts at a word board, and it just happened to come up. Bin Laden determined to strike inside the U.S. Fucking craziest coincidence you ever saw, man.
I mean, if you this is the smoking gun. Bush was asleep at the switch, folks.
Yeah, dude was a war.
The worst case scenario is he received these. He was like, "Oh, it's something I can foil. We'll turn it. We'll dial it back a bit. See what happens." Now, again, I'm not this major conspiracy theorist, but after these memos, there are only two options: either he was utterly incompetent and didn't give a duck fuck, or he was willing to gamble with our country, our national security, to score political points. And considering the fact that he played politics with national security for the rest of his presidency, I think that the other theory is perfectly valid.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do think there were probably... I think that my guess, my theory, as best I can say it, because I try to be, I try to think people are generally well-intentioned, is they just didn't quite realize how big it would be. They thought maybe, somebody might get shot. It happens all the time. They didn't think, oh, this is going to be huge.
Well, again, what I think is that he either saw a chance to score political points because he could be the hero if he stopped it, and he thought we'll let this simmer a bit, let it come to a boil, and then we'll take care of it, or he just didn't give a fuck. Either way, I'm sorry. Anyway, more from the article. From June to September 2011. A full 7 CIA senior intelligence briefs detailed that attacks were imminent and an incredible amount of information from one intelligence agency. One from June, called Bin Laden and Associates, Making Near-Term Threats, writes that Redacted expects Osama bin Laden to launch multiple attacks over the coming days. I'm sorry? You see that and you go on vacation? You fucktard!
Probably didn't see it, actually. He probably was on vacation already. So,
He was basically on vacation.
My guess is... Sorry, faded out there for a second.
I'm sorry, I was like... Go on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, basically, it's just... oh, damn, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, he was probably not even reading those memos to begin with. I mean, direct quote from George W. Bush. Direct quote. I don't need to read all those things. I get my guidance from the Bible. I'm not trying to harp on religion here at the moment, but even if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're whatever person of faith, you don't consult your holy book written thousands of years ago for policy decisions. It's just a bad plan.
Well, and remember... Oh, hold on. I dropped my show prep sheet. Sorry about that. Oh. And remember that they were planning to invade Iraq even before 9/11. They had a map of Iraq. They had a map of Iraq at the Pentagon, and they were divvying up all the oil fields to each company. They just needed an excuse, which again I think lends credibility to my theory that Bush was like, "We'll let this come to a boil. We'll stop it. We'll have justification to go into Iraq. I'll be able to make Daddy proud of me." Because let's face facts, Bush has daddy issues.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's worth noting too.
Freud would be like, "You're fucked up."
Yeah. But yeah, it's worth noting. You mentioned, that the plan was to stop it, but not trying to be paranoid. But it's worth noting you never really hear on the news, aside from a mention of the ones that get stopped. Those are in the news cycle for a couple weeks maybe, if it's something really scary or interesting. generally the ones that get stopped are not plastered into big hero stories.
Yeah. If it bleeds, it leads. That's media
exactly.
bias. Here we go.
The meeting, which is a whole new can of worms.
Right, we'll talk about that some other time. But here we go. During the entire month of August, President Bush was on vacation at his ranch in Texas, which tied with one of Richard Nixon's as the longest vacation ever taken by a president. But anyway, CIA Director George Tenet said he didn't speak to Bush once that month, August, describing the president as being, quote, on leave, unquote. Bush didn't hold a principals meeting on terrorism until September 4th, 2001, having downgraded the meetings to a deputies meeting, which then counterterrorism czar Richard Clarke has repeatedly said slowed down anti-Bin Laden efforts enormously by months. In short, the actions taken by the Bush administration made it harder for them to keep track of this man, to keep track of Al-Qaeda, and to prevent terrorist attacks against America. Folks, he played you for chumps and you fell for it. I mean, this is disturbing.
Yeah, basically.
This is disturbing because Republicans claim, "Oh, we're the party of national defense." No, you're not. You're the party of the military-industrial complex, you motherfuckers. You don't care about the
they're the party
the
that's,
homeland.
They want to build some more fucking stealth bombers because you know what? Stealth bombers are fucking cool, and we want more.
No, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about compensation. Notice all of their solutions to problems include large phallic objects that make a big boom. Nukes, bombs, guns. That
explains those dreams I've been having.
But I mean, seriously, how they claim, "Oh, we're the party of national security." No, there's a difference between national security and the military-industrial complex. You are the party of the military-industrial complex. Democrats are the true party of national security because we want to have a smart homeland defense. We want the homeland secured. We caught Bin Laden. End of story. We did what Bush couldn't do.
Yeah, I mean, national defense and the understanding of anybody who actually pays attention is not just bombing people. National defense means keeping shit from happening in the nation, which means things like diplomacy. He'll talk to our enemies. Yeah?
That's the way the world works, assholes. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this.
The world is more complicated than blow it up.
I will tell you this. Mitt Romney may not be as dumb as Bush, but he is as soulless as Bush. We are really going to be putting ourselves in danger if Mitt Romney wins this election. We have got to beat him and the Republicans. We have to take back Congress, take back the Senate, and win the presidency. Our lives are at stake.
I think that Mitt Romney, if he gets the presidency, he'll plug our nation into Skynet because he is actually the T. Romney thousands. He's a robot, man.
Now, I did mention earlier that when I played my anger management bumper, that Wes can attest to the fact that I do have anger management issues. As I said, we go back about... Has it really been almost 12 years, Wes?
Oh, hell, I guess. That's...
I
don't know. I've drank and smoked since then.
And I do have anger management issues, but that's why it's funny. It's true. Anyway, we're getting close to the bottom of the show, so I want to do the basic housekeeping. First of all, I want to remind everyone that the Mic Check Radio blog now has specialized email links for you to send me emails. If you have a nomination for an Asshole of the Week, send it using the Asshole of the Week link. And again, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not saying I won't read your emails if you don't use those particular links. But the thing is that my email is set up to flag emails sent using those links. They have a specialized subject that will set off alerts in my email, and I will read those. Again, we are now affiliated.
Unless they come from me.
Paul, am I allowed to call this, Paul Green, am I allowed to call this an affiliation? Is that cool? We are now affiliated with leftwingradiostations.com. And Jacob Dean will be on the air tomorrow night, 6 to 8 Central. I'm going to try and get him on. Other exciting stuff coming up. I emailed Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic. I'm going to try and get him on for a segment when we have a slow news week. I'm going to try and get Nicole Bell from Crooks and Liars. I'm really going to step it up. I want to move from Adam ranting and raving to substantive talk with other people because, like I said, I've seen The Incredibles and I know what happens to villains when they monologue.
Oh, I see how it is. I see how it is.
Well,
I'm just nobody to monologue with.
You are welcome here anytime, but I'm just saying that I would like to try and have more guests. I am also considering... It's okay. I'm also considering a 4th of July special. Normally, I only air on Saturday nights. This is just a maybe. I might air on the 4th of July, and the whole point of that will be discussion about how we can come together as a country and do stuff for the greater good. And I will do this if I can get some conservatives to come on with us. But they're going to have to understand, no insults, no politics. This is us saying, what can we do to help, with each other to make this country a better place. As I said, I don't know what we're going to do about the Talking Left issue. It's not an issue. The bottom line is if they say, Adam, we want to air, then there's nothing I can really do. I can't,
we'll figure it out.
But I'm gonna try my best. Anyway, let's get some plugs in real quick. I just remind everyone to please tune in to the fine programs that we, again, I don't know if we're really affiliates, but I just want to remind everyone, USA Progressive is now USA Progressive Media with Ray Medeiros. Kenny Pick on Turn Up Tonight, Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 to 10 Eastern. That's 6 to 9 Central. Filter Free with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott, Mondays, 7 to 9 Eastern, 6 to 8 Central. They are back on the air tomorrow night. They say they have a special guest, and we will try and get Jacob Dean on for at least part of the show. I would like to have him in studio. Well, not in studio, obviously. I'd like to have him on the show for the entire time, but we'll see. Talking Left with Shano and Danielle, they are still on hiatus. They will be on hiatus for the foreseeable future. The Nicole Sandler Show, Monday through Thursday, 10 to noon Eastern. Nicole Sandler is also subbing for Randy Rhodes on her show. I don't know if this means there's going to be I don't know what this means for Nicole Sandler's regular show. There's only one way to find out, and that is to tune in to the Nicole Sandler Show at radioornot.com. Monday at 10 Eastern. The Shane Files, Fridays 10 to midnight, supposedly. And the More Me Show, Sundays 5 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And I would like to thank Paul Green and leftwingradiostations.com for their generous support of this program, and to you, my listeners. So, Wes, since I've got all that crap out of the way, do you have any parting shots, sir?
I think the theme of our evening tonight is just like Grandmaster Flash said. It's all about money, ain't a damn thing funny.
That's a good thought. Again, as I said earlier before Wes was on, if you have a chance, go see Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's on Netflix for instant viewing. And then watch Avatar: Legend of Korra on Nickelodeon, the website. And every episode, except for the last 2 of the season, is up. It's an awesome series. Watch it.
Also watch the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but only with the riff tracks.
Yes. Or with a friend you can trust riff a bad movie with.
And liquor.
I'm sorry? And liquor, yes,
and
liquor helps. And liquor does help. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for their tremendous support of this program. We broadcast for you. Otherwise, I'm just talking to thin air. So thank you for being here. Wes, as always, thank you for joining me I'd like to make this a
My
regular
pleasure.
thing as your schedule allows, of course.
Right. Generally, my schedule is going to be good for late on Saturday, but we'll see what happens. We can, figure it out.
What's your 4th of July looking like?
I have no specific plans. It depends on what my friends are doing, if they're working or not.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you'd be working. I don't know, because you work at a theme park, basically, right?
Yeah, I work at a kind of like resort hotel. But my hours are generally I'm off 4th of July at the very latest. I'd be off by my normal time on a weekend, so 8 or 8:30.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Yeah, it just depends.
And as I said, as far as I'm concerned, this show is not going anywhere. Again, when they announce what they're going to do, obviously, I'm hoping that they will sit down and talk to me about this before they make any announcements, because I would show them the same courtesy, and I would hope that they will do the same. Again, the three options are I can do an earlier show, but that would mean Wesley no longer being able to come on. I can do a later show, which would mean Wes being able to come on, and possibly for the entire show if you're not too drunk by then, Wes. And maybe I'll talk to Nicole Sandler about taking over Wednesdays. But that would be really tough with my school schedule. So we'll see what happens about that. I'm sure they're going to talk to me about that. Anyway, you all have a night.
For what it's worth, also, if there's a weekday, that means I'd be able to make it earlier too. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Well, and like I said, the thing is that if I go to Wednesday, it's going to be because I get on radio or not. Because the thing is that if I just start broadcasting on Wednesdays, what do I do when Nicole Sandler fills that spot again? Because I won't be on her network. So, again, I share that same audience, so, I gotta be careful about that. Anyway, again, thank you to our audience, thank you to Left Wing Radio Stations, Kenny Pick, Tom Schaefer, all of the people who've helped. Hopefully by next week we will have our logo ready to go. I don't know. John is really working hard on it. I like what I see. He said, he's going to work on it, but we'll see what happens. And Wes, I know I asked you for your parting shot, but do you have any final thoughts? We've got 2 minutes left.
Well, dang, I already used up my good final line. How about?
I apologize for putting you on the spot.
Beer before liquor, never sicker. Liquor before beer, never fear. Although that's not really true if you're drinking enough.
Well, and like I said, we're going to really try and step it up with getting more guests. I'm thinking about reaching out to Macaroni, who is the official rapper of the Stephanie Miller Show, which should interest you, Wes.
That's cool.
And I'll try and I'll try and have deal you in on that one. And we're just gonna see. We're gonna work hard, and I'm gonna try and hammer out whatever technical issues are left, because I am tired of this broadcast.
Hey man, it's a learning experience, That's how you get to where you can handle the stuff quickly.
Anyway, we are going to get ready to go off the air. I'd like to thank everyone again. Have a nice evening. We will see you next week for the next exciting edition of Mike Check Radio. ADO.
Good night, Katara.
Peace.
Good night, Sokka. Good night, Toph. Good night, Appa. Good night, Momo. Good night, Appa and Mo. Go to sleep already!
And I just need to stop the recording. Let me stop the recording real quick, and then we will do some sausage.
Sausage?
Yeah, it's what Kenny and everyone else calls basically like an after show.
Right.
And it's just, we chew the fat.
I was like, are you coming on to me, sir?
No, I am straight as an arrow. Anyway, I forgot to record the first 15 minutes of the show. God damn it, that just pisses me off.